If you're not quite done, that's okay. I'll show you how we can get this done relatively quickly here. I'm going to start with Hannah. I want to get rid of the y here. So what am I going to do to get rid of the y's? So that's going to give us 8x minus 4y plus z equals 12, and 4x plus 4y. Bailey, can you do your elimination, please, and tell me what we got?
12x.
Okay. Now you may notice here there's going to be some fractions. Are fractions okay? Yes, we're in calculus. Fractions are okay. All right. I tried not to, but it happened. Do you guys want to isolate x here or z? Let's isolate x. Okay. James, can you isolate x for me, please? Go ahead. Okay, keep going. So x equals? Yeah, I'll go do it like this. I'll do it like that if that's okay, just because it's, you know what I mean, because it looks a little nicer like that. Okay, does that look sort of okay for most people? You guys got a similar answer? If you isolate a different variable, you get different answers. This is where I was saying I have to put up a lot of different solutions when I make the solutions for this on your test, because the direction vectors can be a little bit different always. Okay. All right, we're up to Alistair. Do you want to isolate? Do you want to get a y equals? I guess we need to get y equals next, right? So how do we do that? Okay, which one did you sub it into? Second one sounds good to me, okay? So it's going to be bracket 19 over 12z minus 1. Now again, you could have used the other one, but this one already has y isolated, so why not? Sorry. No, I'm sorry. It wasn't. So y then should equal 60 minus 19, whoops, is 41. So y should equal, so let me just confirm that for me because I was a little done in my head. I think that's right. Good? Okay, good. All right, Emma, how do we finish this one off now? Yeah, good. So to make it parametric, set z equal to t. So we get x equals 19 over 12t minus 1, y equals 41 over 12 t minus 5, and z equals t. Okay. Now, if you chose different variables to work with, like if you chose to isolate x first or whatever, you'll have a slightly different answer. It should be in the same ratio, though. If you turn this into vector, it would be 19, 41, and 12 would be your things. You times everything by 12, times all the t's by 12. Okay, how are we feeling? Brad, sort of good, even though you haven't been here a little bit? No. It feels like you haven't been here a long time, though, Brad. I don't know. Maybe because I missed a big one. Okay, you ready to move on to the third dimension? So I'll write down your homework for this. This already was in the third dimension. Page 480. Okay. Now, I'm going to actually hit pause on the video here, I think, right now. And we'll keep going here. Because I could write a big, giant, long note, but I think I'm going to take a break. All right, so example 1. intersection of three planes this is. And I think I might just, you know what I think I might do? Because a lot of people are missing here. I'm going to do two examples and I'm going to stop. This is the last topic. This is the thing that's going to focus on what I was saying. There's one part that's difficult. I'm going to do two examples of this. I'm going to stop. I'm going to start on your homework. What your choice on email. Okay? Okay, now, there is an easy way, and a hard way to do these questions. Unfortunately, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this the hard way first time, then I'll show the easy way. Is everyone here taking data management yet? Okay, you will love what we're doing here because you'll remind your data management. So you guys did matrices? Oh, have you done matrices yet? Okay, we gotta say that then. Okay, so there's two different ways you can do this. You can do this with elimination or you can do this with substitution. Okay, what way do you guys want to do it? It doesn't matter. Elimination? Okay. So the way we're going to do elimination is you're going to eliminate one row at a time. Looking at this from the top left, I have an x here, so I'm going to use that x to eliminate this x, to eliminate this x. How would I eliminate the x in the second row? Yeah, okay, so this is, I'm going to pass on elimination, okay? Because elimination, it's such a headache to do, okay? What I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to isolate here. Okay. So hold on a sec here. So I isolated x for substitution here now. Now, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to substitute that x into equations 2 and 3. And then the x's will be gone. Once I'm done that, then I'll do substitution again. It will be a double substitution is what it's going to be. Okay? So the second equation okay, so everyone sort of saw what happened there? That turns into 4y minus 8z plus 8 plus 4y minus z equals 9. Which changes into 8y minus 9z plus 8 equals 9. Yeah. If you remember, I said this was the messy way to do things. I will show you a nicer way here in example 2. Okay, but example 2 is the tricky way. So what I just did there, Jason and everyone else, did I make a mistake? I hope I didn't. I hope I didn't. But what I just did there is I just did substitution there for that. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I have y in terms of z. All right, thank you. Oh, yes, go ahead. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute the y back into the first x. So then you can get x and y both in terms of z, and then sub it in, and you'll solve for z and go backwards. Okay? So then I'm going to sub this back into Right, okay, hold on a second, just wait. Okay, let me go back here. The problem that I had for the X has Y and Z in it, right? Yeah, go ahead.
So, you know what elimination of into, or does it not have?
It doesn't matter, The thing is, you can choose either one of these for your second step. And then you have to sort it back into this. So you're going to get X in terms of Z, Y in terms of Z, and then solve for Z. What's that, sir? So what I did was, right, I got that from right here, right? That's what I did. 16 negative 7/4 Z plus 17 over 2. Now, what I'm doing when I'm going through this one is intentionally done in a poor manner, okay? So you can see this is difficult. You may always use this option. You know, if you really think to yourself, this is awesome, I love substitution, you can do this, but I'm going to show you a better way to do it in example 2. Oh. What's that? Is it plus 4 Z?
I know it's plus 4. I don't care what it's yeah.
Well, this comes across like this, right? Right?
Oh, wait, go back.
Yeah.
So where did we get something?
Okay, hold on, guys. We're just go through this here. I just want to go through this one quickly because this one we're going to show you guys a better way to do it. Okay, I'm going to say it's possible to do a substitution. That's what I'm showing you, but it's going to give you a headache. Okay, that's what I'm trying to show you here. I know it might not be the best way to do things. I'm going to sub this down into x minus 2y plus 4z equals 4. So this turns into negative 7/4 z plus 17 over 4, oh boy, minus 2 times 9/8 z plus 1/8 back. Yuck. Okay. Are we all saying yuck? Is this clear?
I'm saying but we're
Yeah, go ahead.
Could you have chosen any of them?
Yes. Any of the 3 equations you could have subbed it into, yes. Now that's what I was going to do right now to make things easier. So this is going to be the negative 7z plus 17 minus 9. So that turns into 16 minus 7 is 9. So, yes. So that's 9z plus 7 plus 16, so you have z equals 9, z equals 1. Oh, that's nice. So z equals 1, so life is good. Hopefully life is good. What's that? Okay. Okay, so to get my x then, and then to get my y, any y person? Now, hopefully, you're saying that, oh, did I make a mistake? Oh.
Like you went from 9 over 4 to just 9.
Oh, sugar, really? Darn it. Oh, no. Okay, we'll do a little editing here then. 16 minus 9. Uh-oh. I made a mistake. Oh, no. I guess 0 equals 16. 0 plus, I guess 0 equals 0. Okay, we'll leave it there then. It says 0 equals 0, no solution. I don't know that. Okay. Now, I just wanted to show you this way here. Sorry, thank you. Because the last way we're going to do this, so let's just make sure I can add up everything right here. So then you get 16 equals 16. Okay, we're going to change this and do, for the rest of today and tomorrow, we're going to do something called 17 minus 1 is 16, right? Okay, so let's do it the other way, which is going to be called 0z. We're going to talk about matrix. A matrix is a rectangular array of numbers made to solve linear systems. We're going to say an augmented matrix uses the coefficients to solve the intersection of things. Okay, so what we want is it's going to look something like this. What that means is x equals 2, y equals 3, z equals 4 is what that means. Okay? And we'll go through this nice and slowly today. If we don't finish it today, that's okay. We'll go through it tomorrow. But the idea is we're getting rid of the x's and the y's and just using a matrix makes these things much, much easier to do. Okay? You notice there was, I just made these up. I just threw this in there. Okay. All I was saying, 1, 0, 0 means x. That's like it's 1x plus 0, y plus 0, z. I just made this up for students. I could have changed it. I could have done in another way if I do this. This means x plus 3y plus 4z equals -2. Those are just examples, right? So the structure of, so I just want to make sure that we're clear on how to write things in a matrix. Right there. So, what's that? Yeah, they're just lines, just like a break. That's all it is between.
Oh,
okay. So if I write 1, 3, 4 and -2, that means x plus 3y plus 4z equals -2. Austin, cool, you're sort of following what I'm doing here or not really? So all I'm doing is, this is just a way of writing an expression like this in a matrix form, that's all we're saying. These two mean the same thing, that's all we're saying.
is it like one column?
Not really, it's just a break, they're not commas, they're just breaks. Okay, so here are the rules. rule number 1 says any row can be multiplied by a non-zero constant. So think of this just like doing elimination, right? And you guys, excuse me. Think of this just like doing elimination, right? You can multiply the entire row by something; it's still equivalent. Number 2 says any row can be replaced by the sum of that row and another row. Number 3 says rows can be interchanged. Okay. Now, this sounds complicated right now. Let me tell you, it's once we do a few examples, we'll say, Mr. Sadler, it's much easier than doing it the first way. The learning curve is a little steep on this. The first example is going to be rough, okay, for you guys, but as we do a few of these, we have all day tomorrow to do this as well, okay? So here we go, example 2. Find the intersection of planes using matrix elimination. And we have x plus y plus 2z equals -2, 3x minus y plus 14z equals 6, and x plus 2y equals -5. Okay, we'll go through this one nice and slow as a class. If there are questions, please be brave and ask. Okay, because this is for you, this isn't for me. I'm a pro at matrices. I want to make sure that you guys are too. Okay, so let's put this into a matrix first of all. I'll give you guys time to write that down, and I want someone to be brave. Putting this into a matrix, I get someone to be brave and tell me what x plus y plus 2z equals -2 looks like in matrix form. Go ahead. Very good. Okay. I want to make sure that's crystal clear for everyone here before we start. We're all good? Okay. Awesome, cool. Since you're nodding your head, it's good. Can you do the second row for me, please?
3, -1, 14, 6.
Very good. Okay, a third long-term max.
1, 2, 0, 2, 5.
Okay, I tried to trick you, and you got that trick, no problem. If there's nothing there, you just put a 0. Okay? Excuse me, I'm sorry. All right, so let's try and get rid of, so what you want to do is you want to turn this expression to look like this. This is what you want it to look like, okay? So you have an x by itself, which would be that, y by itself equals that, and z by itself would equal to that. So let's get rid of, I'm going to circle a number, and let's start by getting rid of that. What would we be able to do to get rid of, to make that 0? What could we do? Well, I'll take it through it since this is the first step. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to subtract the first row. Okay, so this is just like elimination. So, the first row is going to stay the same. whoops, which is 1, 1, 2, negative 2. This is going to be 3, negative 1, 14, which is 6. But I'm going to subtract the entire first row to get it to balance out. So just making sure this is good. 1 minus 1 should be 0, which is what we want. That means that I've just gotten rid of the x. Okay. Then I'm going to say 2 minus 1 is 1, and 0 minus 2 is negative 2, and that should be negative 3.
Why is it minus 2?
Because you're subtracting, right? So it should be like this minus the first row, right? So it should be 1 minus 1 is 0, 2 minus 1 is 1, 0 minus 2 is negative 2. Unless I did that wrong. Okay. Can someone be brave and tell me what number we should get rid of next?
Wait, why do you want 0 minus 1?
Yes.
Why right?
Minus the first row. You're subtracting the whole first row.
Why
That's
do you
what I'm saying.
want the x and 0 instead of 0?
Well, because what's going to happen is I'm choosing, you could have chosen, I chose to make this one as my 1, this is my x I'm going to use. What's that? I just decided this is the x that I'm going to keep.
Negative 3 minus negative 5.
But you're subtracting this one though. You're taking this row and you're subtracting the first row from it.
So could you put,
So this is just negative 5. Okay, so we're gonna do L x too.
could you pick anything like you could pick your x is easier to write than your
Yeah, yeah. You just generally start with your x's and you make them all 0. So the next thing I'm going to get rid of here is this right here. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is, and I'll do the first row, you guys can do the rest after this. I'm going to subtract this minus 3 times the first row. Okay. Because what's going to happen is that's going to make it, the 1 is going to change to a negative 3. That'll make that a 0. And go from there. Okay, so -2. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to times the first row by -3 and add it to the second row. So 1 times -3 is -3. -3 plus -1 should be -4. Okay on that logic, Nathan? You're sort of following what we're doing here? Same thing then. -3 times 2 is -6. -6 plus 14 should be 8. And then -3 times -2 is 6, so 6 plus 6 is 12. Well, I'm just sort of adding, like I did -3 times because I did -3 times this and add to this, right? So the same thing, -3 times 1 is -3, plus 3 is 0. -3 times 1 is -3, plus -1 is -4. -3 times 2 is -6, plus 14 is 8. -3 times -2 is positive 6, plus 6 is 0. Okay, good question. The question was where the -3 came from. The only way to think of this like elimination, right? Okay. In order to eliminate that 3, you have to have the first row to have a -3. So think with the same logic as that, right? You know what I mean? Like it's the same idea as that. Okay. So I'm going to use step number 2 here. The second rule says you can do, so I'm happy. This is what I'm looking for. This is good. This row is perfect. Okay, because I have 1, 0, 0. All right, that's what I want to have happen. Next, I'm going to just basically use these two, and I want to find a way to get a 1 for the y. So what I'm going to do is, you can either I should just do this. Let's just divide that row by -4. Why do I want to divide that by -4? What's that going to give me? A 1 for y, right? Okay.
So now you have ones with zeros, you just not do anything to that.
Yeah, right on, because I can't, the x is already isolated, like this already says, this is like x plus y plus 2z, so there's nothing that can be done with that.
So you divide by -4 because like, for the.
Right on. Well, yeah, because I want to get this to be a 1.
So like, if,
I'm basically,
if that was a 5,
yeah,
so like 8, 12, would you just want fractions?
right on.
Okay.
They're the same, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract this from my second row. Subtract, no, yeah, subtract 2. What does that middle line tell me? What does that middle line tell me? Because let me read that out in English. What does 0, 1, -2, -3 mean?
Y minus 2z.
Good. Okay. Okay, so this is good. We have this equal to 1, so this is perfect. Okay?
Basically, what you want to do is get.
We'll do lots more of these tomorrow. Don't worry about this for homework, okay? We'll do more of these tomorrow. Your homework, if you remember, was 480, number 5, and 9. Okay? What's that?
What's that expression, right?
Perfect. Then you have no homework for next week.
No, any more?
That's something new.
That's Brad.
Yeah, that's right.
What's that? Is that your,
No.
Okay. Let me just say this here.